Hi, folks. I'm going to talk about. Okay, so my mom's real old. Well, it doesn't really matter. My mom. I sometimes massage my mom. She is, and I kind of massage up here and around her neck. And I noticed when I was massaging her neck that I could feel rings in here, and it made me think it made me realize that I feel them on my own neck, and I concluded, or I formed sort of I felt like seemed probable that all people have these rings, and I felt like I had probably seen them on other people. So I looked up on the internet to see if indeed people have rings, and I did find this. It says there are typically 16 to 20 cartilaginous rings stacked along the length of the trachea. Their main function is to keep the airway from collapsing, which is important if you intend to breathe. These rings are composed of flexible hyaline cartilage, which is the most common type of cartilage in the body. So the point I want to make here is that, and that was interesting, that was all good info to learn, is that as you touch things, it may bring up questions in your mind that you can then use to learn more. In this case, I had touched these rings, and I Googled, does the trachea, which is the windpipe where the oxygen you breathe goes down, does the trachea have rings? And what I read you is the first hit that came up, and I think that's a good process to learn, to become more knowledgeable, is that if you do something and you realize it's not something I know a lot about, just Google it and you can learn a little bit more. I had also, I often run my hands around, well, not so much lately, but a little bit running my hands around on my own body. And I had stuck my thumbs like that, and it became a reason to, into my underarms, it became a reason to see what there might be interesting to learn about the underarms. And I did something I often do, is what I put into Google was, what are interesting things about the underarms? And I've done that with other body parts. It seems good to learn about the body because we are our bodies. It's kind of our fundamental fact of existence. And there was lots of interesting info about the underarms. There was, this is also from Google, there was information about lymph nodes in the underarms that produce lymphocytes that fight infection. And there was interesting information about the smells from the armpits, where men can smell when women are ovulating from the smells from the armpits. It says sometimes when women show their armpits to others, it shows that they're comfortable with that other person and just somewhat perhaps trying to get attention. It also mentioned that women like the smell of fresh male sweat on the underarms. So all of that is sort of good stuff to know in life, and interesting to know about physiology and the way physiology connects with our psychology, and our attractions or lack thereof. I should say that the one reading said that the women like the fresh male sweat, but it further went on to say that they don't like stale male sweat. So I suppose that's why people shower and put on underarm deodorant. But again, it all emerged from kind of sticking my thumbs under there and then saying, what are some interesting things about the underarms? And just a second. And it became interesting in a way to learn. And I do that a lot. Life will bring up different questions in my mind, things I don't know about, and I'll look into them and learn a little bit more about life. And that keeps life more interesting, makes me feel like a richer person. Very likely you already do this. If you don't, I'm sharing it with you. And I hope it could enrich your life. Let's see. I remember feeling the cushions, I think on furniture, and then Googling to try to learn more about what the cushions were, the cushiony material, and kind of how it's constructed. Fortunately, I can't remember what I learned. In a way, I don't always expect to remember everything, but it's nice to, even at the time, it's nice to learn it, even if some of it fades. And it makes me feel resourceful because I know that I can go back and review it, and I'll know. So, I mean, I'm just looking at my background here. There's probably stuff that would raise questions that I could then Google and look into. And some of those questions would come to mind but wouldn't interest me enough to look into. But some might be quite interesting. If you like this stuff, subscribe, comment, rate, etc. And if I think of anything that I forgot, I'll put it in the words under the video or make a future video.